Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're turning grammar into a full-blown, thrilling investigation. We're going to discover exactly how possessive pronouns function clearly to eliminate all that confusing clutter in our everyday communication. So, if you've ever found yourself tangling up your sentences trying to explain who owns what, you are in the exact right place. Grab your magnifying glass because today's briefing is all about solving the mystery of ownership. So, picture this. You've just been hired as a rookie investigator at the Lost and Found Detective Agency. Our overarching mission today? To track down the rightful owners of missing school items using some highly specific magical clue words: mine, yours, his, and hers. These aren't just random words, They're precise grammatical tools built for absolute clarity. Here is our detective's docket for the day. We'll outline the agency mission, fire up the belonging beam, use the decoder ring, do some field work, fact-check our evidence, and finally close the case. Let's get to work. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the detective agency mission, where we identify our main problem. Because every good investigation starts with an unresolved issue, right? We've got a literal mystery on our hands today. 4 missing classroom items are currently sitting in limbo: a blue backpack, a rag doll, a red mystery book, and a black and white football. Without the right words, they're just floating around. Who do they actually belong to? The big question we need to ask is this: how exactly do we bridge the gap between a missing item and its rightful owner, and do it clearly? We need a bulletproof system to communicate ownership so clearly that there is zero room for doubt. That brings us to Section 2, the belonging beam, which is all about connecting the owner directly to the item. Here's the secret. Possessive pronouns are basically the ultimate grammar glue. Seriously. Imagine having to say, "That is Sarah's pencil. Give the pencil back to Sarah because the pencil is Sarah's." Exhausting, right? We use possessive pronouns to replace all those clunky nouns with clear, streamlined ownership signals. Think of it like a belonging beam. Words like mine, yours, his, and hers shoot an invisible, direct line straight from a person to their stuff. Point to yourself, zap. The beam hits the pencil. This pencil is mine. Point to someone else, it hits the bag. That bag is yours. See a boy, it connects to the football. The football is his. See a girl, it connects to the doll. The doll is hers. It's such a brilliantly simple way to lock down exactly who owns what. Now, a solid detective always looks closely at the evidence. When you ask the question, whose pencil is this? And the answer is, it's mine. You're claiming it for yourself. And if you spot Allie with a kite and Sarah with a cat, well, Allie is a boy, so we confidently deduce that the kite is his. Sarah is a girl, so the cat is hers. The ultimate clue is always hidden in the owner. Moving right along to Section 3, using the decoder ring. Let's see how this builds into a completely reliable, repeatable system. This is where it gets really cool. Imagine an official detective decoder ring. It completely demystifies the rules by treating them like a mechanical code. You feed the subject I into the machine, and out pops mine. Input you, it routes across and spits out yours. He becomes his, and she transforms into hers. To break that data down even further, just look at the raw pattern. I becomes mine, you becomes yours, he becomes his, and she becomes hers. It's basically your ultimate cheat sheet. Anytime you get tangled up trying to figure out which pronoun to use, just trace it right back to the subject. Okay, time for Section 4, investigative field work. Grab those magnifying glasses because we're taking our clues out into the wild. In our first training case, we're basically just filling in the blanks using context. This is for you. It is, well, tracing back to you, it has to be yours. These are Anne's books. Anne's a girl, so they are hers. That's Tim's dog. Tim's a boy, so it's his. And this is my doll. That maps straight to mine. See? The logic holds up every single time. Let's try a quick game, the case of the missing pencil. If our key piece of evidence is the sentence, "This pencil belongs to me," our decoder ring narrows it down perfectly. Out of yours, mine, or his, the only logically sound answer is mine. Why? Because me links directly back to the concept of I, and I always outputs to mine. It's kind of like one of those classic detective string boards. We are literally tying pieces of physical evidence to their proper categorization bins: mine, yours, his, and hers.
The football tracks straight to his. The bag follows the string to yours. Sorting things out this way ensures absolutely nothing is left ambiguous. And let's face it, in language, ambiguity is the total enemy of understanding.
But wait, we can't close up shop just yet. Section 5, fact-checking the evidence to avoid false assumptions.
Because here's where a lot of rookies mess up. Imagine a file says, the bicycle belongs to Ali. It is hers. We have to stamp that with a massive red false. Why? Because Ali is a boy, so the pronoun has to be his. On the flip side, the doll belongs to Emma. It is hers. Gets a big green true, since Emma is a girl and correctly uses the pronoun hers.
Which brings us to the absolute golden rule of the agency and, honestly, your biggest takeaway for today. The possessive pronoun must always align with the gender and perspective of the owner, not the object. The object doesn't dictate the pronoun. The person holding that invisible belonging beam does. Nail that down and you literally can't make a mistake. And just like that, we've successfully tracked down the rules, bringing us to Section 6, case closed, time for the final exam. Let's see if our system holds under pressure. This is my pencil. It is mine. Check. These books belong to Sarah. They are hers. Check. This gift is for you. It is yours. Check. That football belongs to Adam. It is his. Check. Just by applying these words correctly, we have totally mastered how possessive pronouns function to lock down ownership.
With logic like that, you have officially cracked the code and unlocked your expert detective status. Seriously, great job. You don't just know the rules of this specific grammar tool now, you know exactly why it works the way it does.
Keep that decoder ring handy, though. Mastering clear communication isn't just a one-and-done deal. It is a lifelong investigation. The words we use genuinely matter, and clarity is the absolute key to connecting with others. So as you head out with these powerful new grammar tools in your kit, I've got to ask, what missing language mysteries will you solve next?